Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. I'm your host, Dan the Law.
And I'm just dreaming Tabitha, trying to entice you to come on in the booth and listen to us talk.
That's right. Keep dreaming.
It's what they say in Oliver and Company. Keep your dreams alive. Dreams are the way the spirit survives. Once upon a time in New York City, but that's not what we're talking about tonight.
That's right. That's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about the movie Glory.
Glory.
Glory, hallelujah.
Yes.
I love that part when he says that too. That's so cool.
Forgot what year was this movie to come out? It's kind of an old film.
80.
Let's see
something.
here. 1989. Yeah, so an 80s, a powerful 80s movie.
Yes.
Oh, a lot of good things were made in the 80s.
Batman came out 89. Yes, this movie is really good. That's right, Jacob. Yeah, so I guess let's get into it. We're going to talk about the plot, and obviously, I mean, I don't know. It's a historical movie, right? It's based on true events and a true story type style stuff. So, I mean, the plot is like inevitable to be good because it's it was already made. And
I was wondering about that too when I was trying to write down my thoughts as far as the plot, and I wrote down. It's historical, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily make it a good plot. It just makes it factual. It just means that it actually happened. And, so is this a good plot? Well, given the fact that this is a movie, for those that don't know, this is a movie centered around the portion of history during the Civil War when there was the first all Black, at that time, I guess you could say African American regiment, the 54th, get this word, Massachusetts regiment there, and to go on and do great things and set a standard and prove to the world that they were equal with white soldiers. And so I think as far as that goes, this is a good plot for a film.
Right. Let's just say, fun fact, the Civil War was started in 1861 and lasted to 1865.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 years we were in war with ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean that's what Civil War means, and yeah, it was one of the worst moments I think in history. Exactly. Silence. We need everybody to silence their mobile devices while we're in the meeting. The exits are here, here, and here. Please keep your seat in up table upright position. No smoking and all that stuff. We are professional YouTubers.
We're professionals. We don't have ding dongs with our phones.
Right. So just ignore what happened. We're professional here. That didn't happen. We snap our fingers. So it was a terrible time in our nation's history, but at the same time, it brought about one of the greatest moments of our nation's history. Leading to the abolition of slavery, of course, and just some incredible people that took the steps into making us to what we are today. Tell you what, Dan, I was watching this movie and I'm like, this is going to be a rough month for Tabitha because as we may have soon, of course, it is Patriotic Month.
That's
here
right.
in America.
That's what we're going to do.
Every month should be patriotic.
It should be. Every month.
But we're just exploding with excitement this month.
The
reason why. Exactly. Because I was thinking about this too. It's just like patriotism only on the 4th of July is like religion only at Christmas. It ain't worth squat. So anyway, that's just my side note. But
we're doing the whole month.
We are doing historical and patriotic movies this month, and I'm so excited. So we did decide to do Glory today, and like we said, but going back to the plot, I guess you kind of need to know some history about it because it's like it is historical. And I was actually looking to see because a lot of times Hollywood will take historical moments and then
they dramatize it a little bit. Yeah.
But apparently this is very accurate to what actually took place.
That's good.
And so that's always important, especially with something as monumentous as this. And
I need a rapier.
That's the wrong kind of sword for this. It's the wrong kind of sword.
Okay, no, I'm sorry.
The rapier is the one that's very skinny, and those guys.
Right, and you fencing and stuff.
Yeah, fencing. That's the wrong kind of sword. I brought up some historical facts because, like you
Oh, go
said, this
ahead.
is kind of hard to do the plot, like because of the fact that it is based on history. But and this kind of goes into acting. I will just go ahead and say that I give the plot a point, because as I've already stated, it's the fact that this was a good thing that led to a monumentous moment in our nation that changed things drastically and for the better. But it was interesting. So it's about this guy named Robert Shaw, and he was already a military man, volunteered for the Civil War, and he was such an upright, upstanding person. Um,
His father was in power.
his father was in power, and he had already seen some portion of battle, but there was a guy, I forget his first name, but his last name was Andrew. I just read this little snippet here. He sought a certain type of white gentleman, young men of military experience, of firm anti slavery principles, ambitions superior to a vulgar contempt for color, and having faith in the capacity of colored men for military service. Most importantly, he wanted men who understood the stakes that the success or failure of the endeavor would elevate or depress the manner in which the character of African Americans were viewed throughout the world for many years to come. And so that was the kind of guy that Andrew was looking for. And he found this in Robert Shaw. And that's some high standard there. That's a pretty
Andrew
amazing.
Jackson. That's his name.
And yeah. Oh my gosh. I had to do some quick history snippets just to get it all out there. But so I mean, this story is telling how he decided for himself, like he was of that character that believed that Black people were just as equal to men, to everybody else, right? We're all the same people. We're all the same race, right? We're all the same.
That's right.
And
that happened with the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. And
North Republicans. Yeah, come on.
And in this movie, it's interesting where of course, this movie is rated R because there's a lot of racial pervasive language, if you want to word it that way, because they're really trying to tell you, and they're really trying to tell you like how much at that time certain, not everybody, just like today, certain white people viewed the Black community as nothing more than servants, slaves, all that kind of stuff. However, there was a group of people that believed that with training, with guidance, anybody can be something that of great importance. Anybody can be somebody that can make a difference. And I think this is a beautiful story for that. So I think I definitely, like I said, I give the plot a point because it's like we need more people like this.
Right.
Do you agree? I saw you like zone out there for a second.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's a great movie. I'll give the plot a point as well because I do think it's a good movie. It is, and it's based off of history, and I think history in itself is always a good plot. Why? Because it's it's history. It's historical. It's what really happened. What really happens in life. Yeah, maybe there might be some parts that were a little dramatized. Of course, my favorite part is when in the beginning when the guy's head gets blown off.
This is a movie about equality of the human race, and Dan's like, I love when the guy's head gets blown off.
That was awesome. So I have my Civil War hat on today. I also have a video that I should share with everybody. Where I dressed up as a Civil War reenactor. I actually sewed the costume myself. It was a video for church.
It was pretty intense. Yes.
That's pretty
Bullets
intense.
Flying everywhere, smoke,
yeah,
shouting,
smoke.
screaming.
Me doing what are those called?
Tumbles. Do a barrel roll. Yeah.
Barrel rolls, tumbles, or whatever. I don't call it a somersault, but is that a somersault? That wasn't a somersault, was it?
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it is. A tumble. I would just say he did a tumble.
When I was younger and I liked to, move around more than I do now. How about that? I moved a lot.
He had the moves back then.
Yeah. I had the moves.
Yeah.
I'll share that in the post right now, and you guys can check it out after we're done here.
Yes,
I don't know
absolutely.
how to pin it.
Oh, this movie also features Frederick Douglass, which great person of history.
Yes, they
Just
didn't show him too
amazing.
much though. He was just
No, because he was just kind of in the background.
like,
So he was actually paid to recruit African American men into the 54th
mhm.
Massachusetts Infantry. Um, so he already had a little bit of a standing in the nation, and then was trying, and another person trying to make a difference and tell people it's like we can work
Thomas
together.
was cool.
Hmm?
I like the character Thomas that they had. The
Yeah.
black intellectual guy.
Hmm.
Very
Yeah.
very fun. Uh,
Yeah, and when you see like the bickering back and forth of the different people, it was the black community, but of different backgrounds in each one. Again, just showing that we're all the same across the board, no matter what you look like, because you had the one black guy, Thomas, who was a free man. He was born a free man, and so was his father. Neither of them had been slaves. But then you had the one guy that Morgan Freeman played. I forget what his name is. From what I'm gathering in the movie was that I think he may have been in servitude, but I didn't get the impression that he had been a slave, but he still wasn't equal with the white community. But then
right.
there was the other guy, Denzel Washington's character, who basically was brought up in the most heinous of ways. He
Yeah.
was absolutely the cotton picker, the wheat gatherer, slave, beaten, you know, all that kind of stuff. He was the one that ran away from slavery, and escaped, while the others didn't have that. And
Yeah.
so you can see that there's pride in that community as well for the different standings that they grew up with, and they have to work together to understand even their own differences in that community before we could even evolve into like everybody else. I thought that was pretty brilliant. That kind of we just kind of jumped into acting, didn't we?
Yeah. We
We
did,
just
we did.
kind of, just
Uh,
kind of segued there.
yeah. I mean, that's the next topic, anyways.
Yeah,
So
right. It just kind of worked out, didn't it?
and that just worked out beautifully. Um, who else is Carl Lewis? Um, no, not Lewis.
Cary Elwes.
Ellis.
Uh,
Yeah, Cary. Yes.
yeah.
Um, his character was fun. I liked his character too.
Yeah, you had a strong dynamic there, where you have this movie has
Yeah,
a
where
lot
it's
of
more.
growth.
Yeah, and he was more friendly to Thomas because they grew up as friends. Uh,
Hmm.
and Matthew Broderick's character was like, hey, but he's enlisted now. He's an enlisted man now. You got to treat him as a lower person from you. I
Hmm.
you
That
know,
had to been hard. You
yeah,
could,
yeah, I'm
see
sure.
that. You could
Yeah,
see that in his face. Like he did that really well, where it was
yeah,
like, you
yeah,
think
but it's
suddenly
not.
you're better than me?
Yeah,
And it's like it's not about being better, it's about this is rank,
yeah, yeah,
this is how it is. The same thing when he treated with Thomas, when Thomas was like, "Can I speak to you, Robert?" And he was like, and he had to, so you could just kind of see Matthew Broderick's character, just kind of stand up, and it was like, take a deep breath. No, I've got to treat you like everybody else. You
mhm,
have to go ask your superior officer for permission to basically to speak with me.
right.
And in that moment, Thomas, because he's in tears, because he
Yeah,
doesn't seem to have the strength to compete the way everybody else is, and he thought he could rely on his friend, and his friend, I won't say he turned his back on him, because that's not what the case was. It was basically, it was tough love, and it was like,
yeah,
this is where we're at in this moment. I can't treat, this is a serious issue. I can't treat you as a friend. I got to treat you like a soldier. Phew,
yeah.
that was, and man, those guys' tears are coming down.
I
Oh my
know
god,
they
those
did. Yeah,
those
man,
weren't CGI tears, man. They were.
all these guys did a great job with their crying and everything. I mean, how do they do that?
Some people are just naturally gifted that way. I mean, like when Denzel Washington was crying in that scene when he ran away and then they came
Yeah,
back, and the
yeah,
punishment for no matter who you were, the punishment
yeah. He was
was
look.
that you were going to get
What did
whipped.
Morgan Freeman said? He was shoes. He was looking for shoes,
He was looking for shoes,
and
and
that's it because he had his feet were all blistered up and
mhm,
up
they
and everything.
didn't provide
They didn't
shoes for
have
the rest.
socks or shoes for everybody. Apparently, especially for the black people. And then I loved it when Matthew Broderick goes in there smashing everything. Well, maybe you put your shoes and your socks over here.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
over here.
That's what I'm saying. Like in this movie, each person really, like for me, really captivated and personified the emotions that should have been displayed in each
Yeah.
moment. You know, pride, integrity, humility, sadness, um, pride in a good way, like patriotism. Like you could just
Mhm.
see the growth of each character in this. You know, Matthew Broderick's character, Robert, learning to take on the role of leadership.
Yeah.
Um, the Thomas learning to find strength within himself. Denzel Washington's character, which I can't remember what his name is, but learning to be humble and kind of like and move forward, you know, because he was basically he hated everybody because he was clinging to his past. And
Right.
Morgan Freeman, man, that scene, I'll tell you, that was probably one of my favorite scenes when he and Morgan Freeman had that clash. You know, Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman's character was elevated. He became, yeah, the first, what was it, not Master Sergeant. Uh, I can't remember, but anyway, but he was basically the first
Yeah. He had the
black man
stripes.
to get, yeah, exactly, to elevate in the ranks. And, you know, the other guy was like, "Oh, you're still nobody to these people. You're still just a poor black boy that blah blah blah." And this guy was
Yeah.
like, "You are
And
just
what,
upset."
yeah, what was cool at the end was those guys that were making fun of him and stuff and telling them they're nobody. At the end, at the beach scene, they're like, "Yeah, give them hell, 54th." You know, they
They
were cheering.
banded together. Yes, you can see that progress. And I mean, like, man, when he came after him and just told him he was nothing and nobody and he was just going to serve the white man, and Morgan Freeman was like, "You keep calling everybody the N word." He's like, "But the only N word around here is you because you keep holding on to the past and you can't let go. And we're not all like you. And if you can't realize what we're doing here right now, why are you even here?" And I mean, like, it was like a very
Yeah, yeah,
intense moment. And you could kind of, and Denzel Washington's character, you see that change.
yeah. He's like,
Like, whoa, nobody's ever spoken to me like that before.
yeah,
And so I give acting, if you can't tell, guys in the chat, which by the way, we're so glad that you're all here, thank you for being in the
yes,
booth with us. I give acting a point because dang it, man, if these men can't cry on cue like
I
Denzel
know. How,
and just
how do they
Dan,
do that?
just the one tear, that's all he needed. He
Yep,
just had
exactly.
just the one tear.
And then he was like, I'll tough it out. He's got
Yeah, he did, and you could see
he's
his
like,
will
no,
break.
yeah, I can't
Yeah.
do that. I gotta tough it out. Yep,
Man,
man,
like
that's crazy. I
just
love it.
oh.
I also, if you can't tell, give it a point. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, let's go to a commercial break and say
Commercial
hello to
break.
everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody, for being
Happy
here.
almost 4th of July.
That's
Huzzah.
it. That's tomorrow. We have Uncle Mike in the chat. Hello, Uncle Mike. How you doing? We got Jacob Ironside. We got Benjamin Joyner. We got CMDR Phil. We got Mrs. Artuliaki. We have the Science Fictionary. What's
Hi.
up? Yeah, and that's all who's said hi so far. And then obviously we must have some lurkers in the background.
Stun Brat 777 Smith says hello, Dan the Law.
What's up, Stun Brat?
And it's one of my favorite gal pals here inside the booth, Angela Clark. Oh my
Hello,
goodness. Hello
Angela.
there.
She's an awesome voiceover artist. Everybody, go check her out.
Yes, absolutely. She's
Great.
absolutely a fun person. And if you don't know Angela, but you would like to know more about Angela and why she's so freaking fantastic, you should check out our Girls' Night episodes because we like to have her on here for Girls' Nights. She's so much fun. And
Yeah,
check those episodes out when we're done with this one.
that's it. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Angela says, yes, I was lurking.
What a
Well,
lurker.
but now you said hello, so you're
It's not lurking anymore. You broke it. Like once you comment stuff like Girls' Night rocks. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. I can't straighten my finger.
What,
I should do it with this hand. I'm like trying like this and like my fingers
what's
bent.
wrong with your finger? Did it break or something when you were younger?
It's my right hand. It's not quite as flexible as my
Oh,
left
okay.
hand. Yeah, I'm a lefty, so this right hand, I gotta work on it. Like, gotta do yoga with
You gotta do yoga on your right hand.
with-
Oh boy. You know, I always thought when I was a young kid, I said, what if I ever break, because I'm a right-handed person, what if I broke my right hand? I'd have to learn to do stuff with my left. But I still never taught myself how to do it. Because at the time I was like, I need to learn both just in case. But I still never really taught myself. So
I did.
those of you who are ambidextrous, kudos to you, because
I was always afraid. What happens if I break my left hand? So that's why I learned to write with my right hand. So.
Oh yeah, nice. Love your art, by the way, Tabitha. Gina
Thank
one.
you.
Fire.
Yes.
I think all yours are fire. I saw that Jar Jar Binks that you're working on. Oh
Yeah.
man, that one looks so great.
I was actually surprised at how well Jar Jar. For those who might be new here, I also have my own channel. I'm an artist, as you might not know, and so on Twitter, you know, I do art, and so it's my Jar Jar Binks one.
Oh, that turned out pretty good.
He turned out really good. I'm really happy with the eyes. And somebody mentioned
Jar Jar Binks, eh?
you said, yeah, exactly. Somebody mentioned
I don't know how he talks.
my Queen Amidala one, which I'm so happy with. The hair looks great. She looks like she's wearing a croissant, doesn't she?
Yeah. I love it. That is awesome.
Well, I've just been pumping out artwork lately.
That's good.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're growing so fast now. Man.
I'm trying.
Man.
I'm trying.
You're gonna surpass us in the booth here. So you're
just gonna take the booth with me.
That's right. Take
onwards and upwards.
That's right. We'll go together. I'll get my backpack, but forget about it.
Backpack.
Anyways, everybody, we also, if you love what we do here, we have a merch store. You can support us there, or go ahead. You can click on that.
Oh, okay.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And as you saw there were some mugs, some hoodies, and some stickers. We also got pillows. We got all this other cool stuff. Don't forget to check us out on, what is it?
Teespring.
Public. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
We also have a Patreon page. If you want to become a member and support us monthly, you can do that for as little as $1 a month. We also do a one-timer. We got a PayPal on the description below.
That's right. Throw us some cash. Help support the channel.
Ooh.
Dan doesn't like Hubert the Duck over here. An awesome Benjamin Joyner. He got his campfire shirt in a week or so ago. Fabric is super soft. I can testify to that. I myself have a Manflix t-shirt. Just add campfire. You can still get that in the merch.
Mail soon.
That's right.
But that's right. Mad Month is over with, so we probably will be stopping those shirts until next year.
Now it's just binary month.
That's
Well, there's only 2 genders, Dan, so every month is binary.
Yes.
I pulled one over on you, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, what? Wait a minute. What are we doing? What are we doing here? But we still have some awesome shirts and stuff. We got some awesome designs and graphics, and more to come, by the way, because, we can do that. That's right.
Because we can do that.
So,
we can also set people's houses on fire, but we will not do that. So I'm just,
yes. CMDR says, anyway, I'm going to watch The Patriot in preparation for tomorrow.
Yes.
Glad I stopped by, though.
I like to watch that movie before voting day. Just
do you?
Get it on. It's like like a pep rally before voting.
Yeah. So go ahead and go watch that movie. You should stay here though. Finish well, because we're gonna be talking some more about this movie, Glory. But if you have to go, you have to go.
No, you don't. Stay
That's
here. Tell them what to do, Dan. Be bossy. Take command. Let's go ahead. Let's just tell them what's our next category, so they have to stay. Let's lure them in.
Okay. It's cinematography, by the way.
Cinematography, Dan's favorite topic.
Yes, my favorite. And I love the cinematography in this. They did a wonderful job. I love it here. What's up, Brogue? In the 80s, you'd think, oh, they don't have too much. They don't have what are those things that fly in the air with the camera?
Drones?
They don't have drones back in the 80s. They didn't have a lot of cool gadgets. But for some reason, the cinematography in the 80s, even some of the 90s, some of the earlier 2000s, was a lot better than what they're doing now. Like some of the movies now are just not as good. They're getting better. They're going back to it, I think. But like with Top Gun and some of the other movies I've seen have been better. But some of the other ones are not as good. But I guess to each his own with the cinematography.
Well, what do you like the most about the cinematography in this movie? What stands out to you the most?
I think the brightness or like how real it looks. No matter that you're in the woods, you're in the open field, everything looks like you're there. Basically,
Well, they filmed in Georgia, so I'm going to assume a lot of it was outside.
Right, I believe that, but like the way they lit it, the way the colors pop through the camera, they didn't like tint it to make it gray because it's dark and weary, and it's like for emotional feeling. They didn't really do that. They did the emotional feeling through the music and through the acting more than they did through the video. Which
this was also before the teal era, that orange teal era.
The orange teal or the gray tint that they put on everything. Keep it flat. It's so weird. But yeah, I just like the vibrancy part of it, and the and just the way they filmed it. It just made me feel like I was there. They didn't do a lot of shaky cam because obviously back then they were all about the tripods and stuff. So,
yeah, again, a different era for filming. Yeah.
Yeah, and which it's kind of like one of those sighs of relief. It's like, that feels nice. I don't know why it does, but it feels nice.
Because it gets overused now.
Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right about that. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing. Yeah, obviously the color grading is good. The way they filmed it, the way they lit the scenes, even the inside scenes and stuff like that. I think everything worked out well. So.
Okay, so you give it a point?
Yes.
I
worked on Spaceballs
Daphne.
Daphne? Okay. And had to wear those elaborate wedding dresses the entire time. We weren't even allowed to eat in those dresses.
I believe it. Because, it takes a lot to wear them, and they're expensive to make, and if you don't have a big budget, you can't afford to have, 4 of them on hand.
Yeah. You worked on Spaceballs, really?
That's what they say.
You doubled as her. Oh, were you one of the on the camera? You didn't capture them. You captured their stunt doubles. Were you that? Anyways, that's a good movie.
Oh no, you've got Dan distracted now. Look,
you do. You distracted me. We also have inside the booth the flamethrower.
Thanks to Whitey's Wicked Workshop.
That's right.
They're a retired stunt woman. Look, it's Whitey. Speak of the devil himself.
Oh, Whitey.
He says, "We." Oh my gosh.
Stunt Brat, thanks for being here, and thanks for being a stunt woman. That's so cool.
For cinematography, I mean, like, to me, it's
You didn't
I
like it
don't.
as much, huh?
No, it's not that I didn't like it. It's the devilish fat man is here. It's what it says. Hey Lulu. Is that it's not like it stuck out to me. Like I thought it was well done, but nothing in my mind really was like, oh my goodness, that scene is so great because of the cinematography. It was like you said, it was again more about the acting and stuff like that for me. I'd hate to not give it a point, but it's just more of like for me, I I mean, it looked good, but I can't. If we're gonna go, like, if we're giving points for things that stand out to us or what we
Yeah.
really liked about it, then I can't really give cinematography a point because, like, it looked good, but it was nothing special to me. A lot of movies kind of look like that, so I was like,
I
all
got
right.
I got
So yeah, I have to give it the dreaded 0.
That's too bad.
I
I
know.
did like the sunset where Morgan Freeman talks to Denzel Washington's character.
Mhm.
That was a good shot. See
But they didn't create the sun, so I can't give them any points for that.
what they used what God had. Just
Right.
like artists,
Exactly. So
they
you
don't
can't.
create what they see. They just copy what they see. So it's kind of the same.
It's not at all the same.
Yeah,
It's not the same. Filming what God made versus creating from nothing what God made
well, you
is
know,
very
taking a
different.
picture. You know, you're taking a picture. People love. Oh, I love that picture. That you're such a great artist. And then
Mhm.
there's other people who paint what is in front of them, and it's like taking a picture, just painting it.
Hey, Matt Vader, Dan is hating on my craft back here, telling me that I'm just not as good as other people. That's what
I
I got.
didn't
That's what I got out of the conversation. Look,
Hey, you don't paint sunsets, do you?
I
Oh,
have.
okay. Well, let me see it.
I
Um,
don't have my portfolio with me here. Matt Vader, you need to unfollow this man. He's being discriminatory.
what? Don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No. You guys can continue to follow us on Inside the Booth on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's fine. It's okay.
That's right. Because if they unfollow us here, that means they're unfollowing you, basically. Because you're inside the booth.
Well, you can also. It's better if you subscribe or if follow me, Dreaming Tabitha, because I don't put people down, and try to dismiss what they're able to do.
Okay, okay.
Just
Stunt Bread, I have a question. So, since you've been 23 years in the industry, how would you like to come on our show as an interview? And
oh.
we can interview you as a stunt woman. That would be so
How
cool.
can they get in contact, Dan, if they would like
Yeah,
to?
contact me by following me on Twitter,
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram,
And what if
whatever.
they don't have any of these? Is
If
there
you
an
don't have
email
any of that,
address?
there is an email address. It is so long, you probably won't remember it. Inside the booth reviews at gmail.com.
There we go. That's not so hard.
Ooh,
There you go. Inside the booth at
there, I'll write it down.
gmail.com. There you go. And Matt Vader, I appreciate you. He said, I like all artists. My grandmother painted in oils. Used to love watching her paint. Yeah, it is pretty therapeutic to watch people create stuff. Whitey, she only puts me down, but I wouldn't have any way. I only put you down as a person, Whitey. I don't put your craft down. Um, no, Whitey is great. Whitey is a dear friend of Inside the Booth whom we cherish very muchly.
That's right. So there you go, Stunt Brat. There's our. It sounds so funny.
It did. It sounded funny when you said, "Here you go."
There you go,
Stunt
you
Brat. It
brat.
almost sounded like an insult. Like, "Here you go, stunt brat." Yeah.
There's my email. Go email us and we'll get
I
back.
dare you. Go ahead and email me. So
Whitey's honored as well, he says. Yes, Whitey.
you should be.
You should come on sometime.
You should be
You're
on,
quite
Whitey.
awesome, but
You should come on the
again.
channel sometime and hang out. Not like we didn't do that just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Do it again. You're an honored guest, of course.
You are. You are.
So,
And Matt,
Dan.
we gotta get Matt Vader too. So
Yeah, that would be
Um,
cool. What's next? Music.
music. Yes. I
Right.
loved the score to this movie. It was one of my favorites. I would listen to it every day if I could. So
It's
yeah,
called a soundtrack, Dan.
well, it's It's a score.
I know, but you could technically get the capability to listen to this music every day.
Oh, you're right. I could.
You're like, if I could, I would listen to it. It's like, well, I'm pretty sure they probably have the soundtrack on YouTube or something.
If I had some money.
Man, if only there was a free outlet where I could listen to music.
Yes. Or only if there was somebody who would give me $1 a month, I could listen to music.
Yeah. Man. Patrons. So grateful for them so that we can get Dan to be able to listen to music.
That's it. How do I pin this? Do I hit the star?
I have no idea. I don't know what you're trying to pin.
I'm trying to pin that video that I showed you earlier.
Have no idea, sir.
I put a star on it. I don't know.
Again, we are professional YouTubers, but that doesn't mean we know how to do everything.
Yeah,
you know, we're
professional
misfits. Yeah, professional misfits. Ado from Fabworks, another dear friend of the channel, says, "You look great, Dan. Too awesome." He does make a great train conductor, doesn't he?
It's supposed to be a Civil War reenactor. Jeez, come on.
I know we talked about that.
I'm sorry. You know, I couldn't find my costume in time. I looked yesterday in the storage shed. I looked today at my mom's house. I just couldn't find it for the life of me. I didn't look in all the bins though in the storage shed, so that's probably why. So
just review Yankee Doodle Dandy. It sounds like an older film.
Yeah, isn't that a song? Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony.
That was a different song than what I was thinking.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
yeah.
I don't have it. Yankee Doodle Dandy.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy.
Oh, that one.
Yankee Doodle who or die. Yeah. Okay. So we're on totally different pages. But again, we are celebrating patriotism all month this month, and of course all year long as well, because America.
That's
right. Do I need to explain any more than that?
Power to the Americans and everyone else out there that are not Americans. I wish were Americans.
Right. We welcome all kinds. As the daughter of an immigrant, I'm more than happy to welcome anybody here to this wonderful country.
Because I know sometimes
as a person not born in America, I'm happy to be in America. So we were talking about music. Dan, since you were going on about how fantastic it is and how it would be if you do it every day, do you give this music
the music yes. The music gets a point from Dan the Law.
I have to. Okay, Jacob, thank you. You bring up a good point that I was about to say something.
I love it.
I'm glad that you're here. Follow each other there on Twitter. So glad that you brought that up because I was about to just like totally crush what Dan had said until you brought up that comment. Okay, so the campfire scene was great. I love the, as they would call them, the spiritual Negro songs, because there's so much, there's so much juice. There's so much power in those simple songs because of their reliance on Christ and how they really believed that no matter what position that they were in, that God was still good. And I think we could learn a lot from those songs.
Oh, yeah.
If you learn the history.
Movie.
Well,
scene.
If you pay attention to the words and the purpose of the song and the situation behind the circumstance behind it, and I'm like, there's some powerful songs. But anyway, yeah. So I like that scene. I will give it. Dan, calm down, white boy.
The clapping part was so cool.
Yes, it was so great. But I have to say, overall, the music of this movie did like nothing for me. I can hear
it in my head, but it probably sounds horrible with me doing it right now.
Probably, we're not our own choir as we tend to think that we are. But I really, the only song or the only music that stuck out to me was during the grand crescendo when they were about to, take the ridge, take the fort. But other than that, the music, I mean, it kind of reminded me, you ever seen The Page Master, Dan? With Macaulay Culkin and Christopher Lloyd? Probably it's a cartoon slash live action movie. It's a really awesome. I'm gonna have to get you. Oh, I'm gonna have to get you to watch it.
Yeah, get me to watch it because I have no idea.
The Page Master is an awesome film. But anyway, so the music reminded me a lot of the Page Master, but it was just like, okay, well, it's just like another piece of music, whatever. So I honestly, besides that one scene,
you didn't like, oh man, what?
The music didn't do anything for me, and I was like, this stands out to me. The fact that it does nothing for me, so I'm giving.
I thought it was the best.
I'm giving a 0.
What?
I am.
Man, really?
Except for that moment by the campfire, which obviously makes this a real man's movie.
It does. So that means you should give it at least a half a point.
It should, but it's already been written down in blood, so I can't go back on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I stand by what I said.
Okay, I just think you're crazy. You should watch the movie again and try.
You wouldn't be the first person. Yeah, you wouldn't be the first person to say that.
Yes.
Yes.
Stunt Breast says, "Praise God from whom
all blessings flow." That's a great, doxology.
Beautiful hymn. Beautiful. I love that.
I love that one too. Tasha Cobbs does a great rendition of that song. Oh, it's just like it'll just take you out, give you an out of body experience.
That's good. Yeah, God should be praised all day, every day.
It's every day, bro. It's every day.
That's every day. So, last but not least, the allegory. And well, the allegory was really good. I liked it.
What is the allegory?
What's the allegory? My
asking yourself
of the allegory was there was a lot, but I love that back then Black people always relied on God and always relied on Jesus for no matter what they were going through. Not all Black people, obviously,
right?
But like with Denzel Washington's character, he didn't really rely on God up until probably toward the end when Morgan Freeman was saying, "Hey, come on, brother, it's your turn to say something." God's listening, and it's like, and that realization coming to know who Christ is in our lives, that's what changes us, completely changes us and stuff. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Obviously, like you said earlier, everybody gets those realizations, characters and everything throughout to gather their strength and stuff like that. So, there's a lot you could take from it. And because it's a historical piece, and a lot of people back then believed in God, believed in Jesus, believed that, everybody, not everybody believed this, but a lot of them, especially when they fought in the Civil War, they believed that, Blacks were just as equal as whites because all men are created equal.
Equal, endowed by our Creator. That's right.
That's right, and the Creator says that. So, they believe it. So it's like,
and if God said it, it must be true.
That's right. We are created equally.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Jacob Ironside. I gave James Horner a 0. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's just nuts. She's crazy, Jake. She's just crazy. She's just crazy.
Sometimes
I think maybe you were too busy, and when you were watching it, you were doing other stuff, so you didn't really recognize everything that was going on.
I may have been drawing and coloring while
I knew it. You better have drawn like Denzel Washington as a chibi or something. That would have been awesome.
I have to think about that.
With his head like this with the tear coming out. While he's getting whipped.
But no, I paid attention. All
right, good.
So do you give this movie, the allegory, a point?
Yes, I do.
All right, my turn. As Dan said, there are so many allegories to be made that you can draw from in this film. Personal growth, like he said, the walk with Christ and things like that. Man, but the one that I just kind of fixed on, it's really hard. Okay, I'm telling you, like some of these movies, they get to me. There was a moment where I teared up. I love I love patriotism. Like, if you don't know me, you will now. But in previous movies that we've watched, man, I love patriotism. I love that sense of what it does to any kind of person when they see something greater than just themselves that it's worth fighting for. And that's lost in our country in many ways. There's still good people in our country. We have our flaws and things like that. But I don't know which allegory to fixate on. But like when you watch this movie and you see, I can't imagine how hard that had to have been for some of the white actors to call the black actors these horrible names and treat them like dirt and spit on them and kick them and all these kinds of things, which I know, a lot of it was they weren't actually being kicked, but still to actually say that, to actually call them, the N word and tell them to F this. Cause there is some language for those that might not know. This movie is rated R, mostly for the racial slur, like language that comes out. But, how hard that must have been, because, we don't, despite what the media tells you, okay, we don't live in a country like that. There are people that are still like that. Of course, there are always going to be douchebags in the world. Okay. Nobody's saying there's not, but we have come so far as a nation. Like, I just teared up because I'm like, I don't think unless we've seen it in another country, I don't think we could really fully understand and comprehend what that was like for fellow men to treat each other in such a fashion. And so it's just heartbreaking to think that, yes, that was a part of our history. But at the same time, I'm telling you, this movie was just like, I'm so thankful that that's no longer the case. Yeah. We are, like how far we have come, and even other parts of the world. America set a standard for a lot of other countries when it comes to this topic. And I kind of wrote down that we just need a few good men to stand up for something, and that can lead to an amazing outcome. When they decided to storm the hill and try to take the fort, nobody had any hope in them. Nobody could believe that they would do anything. They didn't think that the blacks could benefit the army in any way, because they just thought so little of them. But except for a couple, number one, you had the couple of white people that believed that they could have absolutely done something, that they were worth the effort, that they could protect and serve this country and deserved the right to do so. Yeah. And then
with those black people that wanted to do it first, they wanted to be the
exactly. So you have a group of the black people that believe, hey, let me fight for this country. Let me fight for what's going on because I believe in this. Yeah, exactly. So you have people like Frederick Douglass that made such a big difference. And even Thomas's character. And then you have Robert Shaw, who was like, and Andrew Jackson, who calls upon him and says, we could do something with these group of people. They deserve this. And so then together combining their efforts, and even though that particular regiment didn't win that war, and a lot of them were killed in trying to do that, it ignited a historical event that, got its own memorial. We've got our movies now. We are talking about it hundreds of years later. Mm-hmm. And it still means something. Yeah. And so it's just kind of, I guess the allegory is just kind of like, you know what, even if it's crazy, if it's for a good cause, if it's for the right reasons, if God puts it on your heart, you might not make it. That's part of faith too. You might not make it to the end where you get to actually see the fruits thereof. But man, if those people could see today what their efforts did for this country, man, that would just be amazing. That their actions led to where we are today, and we just need a few good people to stand up.
Those mainstream media people foolish,
and say like they would probably come down here and slap us in the face and say, "Get it together. We got bigger issues to deal with." Like, right. But anyway, I give it a point. I give it a point.
Give it a point. All right. They would come down here and say, "Start praying." Your spiritualness is not as strong as it should be. Right. That's what you need to deal with.
Right. They'd probably be like, we didn't serve and die for people to act like idiots in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
That's like to be godless.
Well, let me tally up these points as you do whatever you do over there, Mr. Conductor. So,
Choo choo! Woo! All right. So everybody, thank you for being here. Tabitha's gonna tell you what she's gonna give the points for, and I'm just going to pour myself some water and tell you guys about how you can give the living water to somebody else by sharing the gospel. All right.
oh, I thought maybe you were also going to do a little plug and say if you enjoy the sound of water, you could also check out Inside the Booth Relaxation Corner.
Yes. Hey, I kind of flew over. I don't think about it as much because I need to start working on that. But yes, if you enjoy the sound of me, wait, listen. I'll do it in the microphone.
Oh, here we go.
No, it doesn't do anything.
No, you can hear it. Yeah.
It goes.
Well,
it sounded like someone was peeing. Anyway, if you enjoy the sound of pee,
or maybe the sound of silence. Now I have put
water.
Right, Whitey says now I have to pee. Dan, stop it.
Sorry. I have two microphones on me right now.
Right.
So.
Stenbrat says, Jacob, right? I'm born and raised in the Cali. Most of us get along here. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Good.
Don't
that's
believe
good.
the liberal media.
Or the.
But you can also follow us. I put the link down below if you want to check out later on our relaxation corner. It's just some soft music with some beautiful nature scenes and videos. So you can just it's great to have on in the background if you're trying to study for something. And hey, look, it is Dale Cruz.
Hey,
hello.
Dale, what's up?
Some wing hugs.
Give you some wing hugs.
We are just finishing up our review of the movie Glory, starring Denzel Washington, Matthew Broderick, and Morgan Freeman. And so the points, Dan, how many points do you think this movie got? It could possibly get 10. Out of 10, how many do you think it got?
12. No.
Was there another member on board that I didn't see?
No, because I'm counting the 2 that you took off, plusing 2 at times that by 2, so it's 12. Yeah. No, it's probably 8.
And you hang on, let me see here for this moment. Let me see here if I've got no, I was gonna do Matthew's little video, but I don't have it. I was gonna do ding ding. You got it right. Yeah, because it is 8. This movie gets an 8 out of 10, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Woo!
So we would recommend this movie again. If you are there is not a lot of blood in this movie, but there is that portion where the guy you watch a guy's like head explode. It's not necessarily graphic because it's like so quick and you can kind of tell it's a dummy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's in the beginning of the movie, and there's some blood, there's some gunshots, but it's nothing horrible and graphic. Most of the R rating comes from the
cringiest
language.
Spot was when Matthew Broderick's character sitting there getting his neck checked on, and then he looks over and you see the curtain that's closed. And the guy's yelling, "Please stop cutting!" And you see, and you kind of see emotion.
The screams, yeah, man.
And the screams, yeah. So it gives you like the image, like, oh man, they're cutting his leg off, So it's
more about your imagination taking over. Yeah, for sure. But it's rated R for the language. So if you're sensitive to that, just be aware of it. But it's a good movie. It's a brilliant movie. 8 out of 10 would recommend here on Inside Booth.
Yes. Yes, me too. I recommend this movie. It's one of my favorites. There's a soft place in my heart.
I've never seen before, so.
You've never seen it before? Oh.
No.
See, I've seen it for a long time. Probably since before I'd say high school, maybe a little bit before, But in high school, it was definitely one of those impact movies where one of my teachers always watched it every time we would have like a day. Well, since we're not doing anything today, we're putting this movie in.
Okay.
David, my brother remembers the teacher. I forgot his name. It was whatever. He was the history teacher, and he would always slow that part down where the head explodes. Don't know why he did that, but
Because you know why, Dan? Because boys. That's why.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, anyways, hello, Mom.
Hi.
You missed most of it. We're almost done here.
But you can always go back and rewatch it because this was a pretty fantastic episode.
Says I look good in my hat.
Mm.
Thank you. I look good in hats. Usually.
Do we want to tell them what our upcoming review for this coming Tuesday? Because if you're new here inside the booth, we are on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, Eastern Standard Time at 9 o'clock every week. So you can check us out. So this coming Tuesday, we're doing
The Thing.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge. I had to look it up. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just wanted to see if I just testing you, Dan. See if you could
Hacksaw Ridge is also a good movie.
Also based off of a true story. We're going to be doing quite a bit of that this month. Some of it not so much, but some of it is. So this week apparently it's historical accuracy week. So Hacksaw Ridge, was it a good movie? Was it true to the tale? Is it historically accurate? Is it ridiculous? Do we agree with what happened? We'll find out on Tuesday.
Good movie.
Don't shh.
Sneak peek, everybody.
Spoilers down.
Look, my mother-in-law. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Mom.
Dan's over here already giving spoilers for Tuesday.
Spoilers for Hacksaw Ridge. No, if you haven't seen the movie, you better watch it before you come watch how we review it. That would be even better. You guys can talk about it. What we
you can talk about it in the chat. That's true.
That's it. But yeah, that is fantabulous.
We'll find out. We'll see if I feel the same way.
Yeah. David says he's got a hat like mine. Well, you should have came on the show, bro.
That's right. It's your channel too. Those that don't know, we're missing 2 of the core 4. We've got Matthew James, and David the Ghost hibernating at the moment.
And that's it. That's it.
Matthew James.
So that's it, everybody, for now. I did before we go, I'm going to show off something that I found in my mom's house today.
Oh no.
It reminds me of that song made by the Bad Lips reading. What was it?
Seagulls, Stop It Now.
Yeah, where he's like, run, run. I can be a backpack while you run. Something like that, you know? It's a backpack.
Backpack. A very creepy, like he looks like Yoda and Quasimodo had a child.
I don't know why his face is all weird. He needs to be stretched out a little bit. It's probably because he was squished.
He looks like the bones have been taken out of his body, and he's just.
It's a backpack. What? Oh,
I know, but even still,
I put some stuff in there. I put a hat, and I put some Ghostbuster gloves, I think.
Oh no, not Ghostbusters.
If
you guys want a really great laugh and a good ditty to hum this coming work week, check out this link for Seagulls. Stop It Now.
Oh, yes. If you've never seen it before.
You need to see it. It will change your life. And then you need to follow the sequel, My Stick.
My Stick, yes, right, because
My Stick is my favorite. I prefer that over Seagulls, Stop It Now, but
but there wouldn't be My Stick unless there was Seagulls, because
I'm just saying I prefer My Stick, but go check out Seagulls, Stop It Now.
So in Seagulls, he talks about a log that he rolls over, and underneath was
and that log had a child.
It's a
whole song dedicated to Yoda's staff.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
It's worth a listen to.
It's hilarious. You guys will love it. I'm also going to put one more link to the Civil War costume that I made from
Mhm.
a video that I did a long time ago. Go and enjoy it for laughs. That's about it.
We like to try to provide a lot of entertainment.
That's it. So thanks
you.
everybody for being here.
Yes, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
everybody have a great 4th of July tomorrow.
That's
Celebrate. Be with your loved ones. Eat a hot dog. Freedom. Yell. Go in the streets and just yell freedom.
Freedom.
Like sing some Aretha Franklin. Like just do it.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being with us.
Goodbye.
Are you not entertained?